Welcome to another edition of DREIA Street Talk. My name is Aisha Moody Mari, and I've been around DREIA for around maybe 8 years now. I'm a real estate investor specializing in wholesaling, and we also rehab as well. Today, I have a very special guest. My guest is Emmanuel Fajardo of Cornerstone First Mortgage. Emmanuel,
Hi,
before we
everyone.
get into what's going on with interest rates, please tell me about your experience and your role at Cornerstone First Mortgage.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Emmanuel Fajardo. I am the regional manager for Cornerstone First Mortgage. We are a national lender. We are in 47 states right now. My role is not only to recruit, but also to produce. So I am a producer. I'm still basically a loan officer at the end of the day. So I still see, all the scenarios. I'm out on the street like everybody else, just, trying to look for business. So the good thing is that I still see all the scenarios and everything that's going on in the market at present, with the rates and everything that's going on with the investors.
And of course, we're going to get into that a little bit later in this
Yes.
discussion.
So I have over 20 years of experience in the business. I actually started doing loans in 1997.
Wow.
Yeah, when the rates were basically where we're heading to right now. So I've seen it before.
Nice, nice. Well, one thing I'm happy for is that you're well experienced. So, you definitely have seen some ups and downs in the market. So you could definitely share a little bit more information on that with us later on in our talk. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for being a valued DREIA business member. As a rehabber with a property coming to market soon, interest rates have changed a great deal since we started on this particular project. I wonder if current interest rates will reduce the number of buyers for my rehab property when it comes to market.
Okay. Well, that's a good question. And actually, I've been coming to DREIA for a very long time, probably since 2003. So I've seen the growth there too. Yes, the everything has right now come into a point where, the point is that they're trying to lower the inflation, just stop the whole inflation that was happening with the prices. What I've seen is that buyers right now are starting to, again, trust the market, and they realize that, you know what, even though I'm paying 7 or 8%, if I keep paying rent, I'm gonna pay 100%. People don't realize that rent is actually 100% interest. You're not getting anything back from that. You're just paying it out. So right now we have seen an increase of applications. So I don't see this stopping the market, but what I don't see happening is getting 20 offers in one day, like we were getting before. But it's definitely a property will probably be on the market for a couple of months, just like it normally is in a normal market.
And that's what you're saying that we're getting to right now. We're not there, but we may be getting there, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, Emmanuel, back to this rehab deal that I mentioned earlier. What do you think I can do? What do you think we can do to save the deal that I thought I had? Because obviously there's been a lot of changes in between the time we started on it and now. What can we do to save the deal?
You're talking about saving it as in to be able to sell it, to flip it, correct?
Correct. To sell
Okay.
it and sell it at a profit.
Okay,
Of
well,
course.
there is something you can offer the buyers right now that's very, very interesting. There is a program where they can actually get 2% below market rate for the first year and 1% for on the second year. The way that it works is that we structure it in a way where the seller, which is you guys, the investor, will give a concession to the buyer up to $10,000, and we use that money to actually buy down the rate. So technically we can go ahead. Let's say you have a property for sale right now and you're like, you know what, it's either I'm going to lower the price or what am I going to do, right?
Mhm.
Well, when you lower a price for a property $50, all you're saving the customer is like $60-$70 a month, which is really not a substantial saving. But
Correct.
this way, the way that it's done is that we take those $10,000 and we buy the rate for the first year to 2%, which actually on a $400,000 property, it ends up saving them about $500 a month.
Oh,
Okay, so
wow. That's substantial.
that is substantial. And in the second year, it ends up saving them around $250 to $300 a month. So there's something that you can advertise as well. Hey, if you use our preferred lender or if you go with one of our partners, this is what we can get you. We can get you in at this rate. And that is very attractive for buyers right now.
Sounds very attractive to me. So, what interest rates are home buyers and sellers facing currently?
Well, currently for a regular 30-year loan, the last I saw was about 6.8%. When someone is putting 20% down and they have decent credit, I'm talking about maybe 720 credit score. For the average person that does low down payment about 5%, we're already talking in the sevens. I mean, 7.25, 7.1 in that range of an area for primary buyers. For investors, we're looking at regular loans, conventional loans, maybe around 7.6. Going with no income verification, which is a lot of what the investors are attracted to because of the flexibility that, the paperwork and everything else that comes along with it. That's already looking in the high sevens, middle 8%.
Okay, so we touched on rate. Let's talk about what are the typical qualifications, which you touched on slightly, and also ratios that we're currently looking at for the recent market conditions.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the one for obviously, buyers, and then I'll tell you the one for investor, which works a little bit different. For if you go conventional with a regular loan, 50% is usually the ratio that's used. So if the person makes $10,000 a month, we will use $5,000, and with that $5,000, they will have to pay all their bills, including the mortgage payment, right? If you go for an investor, then there's different options. Okay, the most attractive one is the one where the property is treated as a commercial property and it goes on cash flow. So basically, if you rent the property and the rent covers the mortgage 1-to-1, we will lend you the money. So that does not look at any debt to income ratio really. It's just about the cash flow of the property itself. Like I said, that's a very, very popular program right now because the investor can play around with it and say, you know what, now I know exactly where I need to be so that my rent covers my mortgage.
Okay, got it. Thanks for the clarification. Now, Emmanuel, sorry, do you think the current rates will stay for the long haul?
Well, I mean, of course, if we had a magic ball, we will all be like millionaires, right? At this point, just from what I've seen and the years is that we'll probably stay on this track probably for the next 6 months. I don't see anything happening before the end of the year for sure. And everything we have to consider that it's not only the U.S. I mean, everything else that's happening in the world right now that affects our market, because everything at the end is intertwined right now. So hopefully things will cool off in the other side of the world, and we can see a little bit of relief here, and rates will go back down. But projection-wise, I don't really see any major rate changes for the next at least 6 months.
Well, that's great news because we've seen a couple in the past few months, so that's definitely great news.
What I say is, what goes up must come down, right? At the end of the day. So this was a really high spike. So it just went like, right up. I mean, there has to be a point where it just like dives down again. So, hopefully we'll get between 4.5% to 5%, sooner than later. I think that's a sweet spot, where people feel really comfortable about buying and, the economy moves at a good pace.
Yes. So the real estate industry seems to be changing right before our eyes. And I guess without saying that my industry and your industry has changed also, what's the biggest impact now for lenders?
Well, the biggest impact for lenders right now is really cash flow and just the way that the inventory is moving, right? Most of the lenders right now, every lender really, they work under either lines of credits or things that they just need to be moving all the time. So if you don't use the line, you don't have the same cash flow. So that's really, at the end of the day, it's the movement of the properties what's affecting us right now. Some lenders they have been smart and they said, you know what, we're gonna just get rid of all this personnel that we don't need. We're getting rid of offices. We're getting rid of things just to basically make enough money to pay the bills, to stay open until we ride this wave of the interest rates.
Yeah, and definitely COVID has impacted that tremendously because
Yes.
we were of the impression that we had to go in the office and commute every day. Now, just like you and I are here on a Zoom, a lot has changed.
That's right, and to be and open the horizon too to new markets and things that we weren't doing before. I mean, now I know our company is very high tech, so most of the meetings that we do before we used to get on the phone, and now I would say probably 95% of them are video calls, which is great because you get to put a face, with the name. You get to
Yes.
be a little more personable. But you don't have to be right there in the same room. So it definitely has worked out, I think, for a lot of companies in a positive way. We still have the old timers like me. I like to come to the office every day. I like to get dressed and, come to work. But you know what, everybody, there's different things for everybody right now. But the working from home is definitely working out great.
Definitely, definitely. So many investors want to capitalize on high rents in our area. What rates are available for 1 to 4 units and also for 5 and more units?
So 1 to 4 unit, that's actually the tipping point, right? Of what's residential and what's commercial.
Yes.
So 1 to 4 unit, as an investment property, you're probably looking at the mid sevens. If you're going income verification, if you show me your tax returns and the property has some cash flow. If the investor wants to go no income verification, then we're talking about high sevens to mid eights, depending on the loan to value of basically how much money they want to borrow against the property. So for 5 or more units, that's already considered residential, commercial. I'm sorry, and right. And it goes by cash flow. It goes by property cash flow. So with that, the rates are a little bit lower. In some cases, if you have a property over $1 million, you probably get something on the sixes.
Oh, wow.
They're still very competitive out there with that. But if the property is under $1 million, then we're looking also into the high sevens, mid eights.
Okay, got it. All right, so both for single family and multi-units, have you noticed any shifts in appraisals lately? And do you expect any?
Well, funny enough, that's probably the only stable thing that we have right now going is the appraisals. Because we've had so many sales this year and, people were, bidding over asking price, there's just no shortage of comps right now. So the properties are appraising. I really can't even think about the last time that I had an appraisal issue now that you mentioned that. So that's definitely very stable. And I think it's an opportunity that we should take advantage of, just because, as we know, this is all cyclical and it's just not going to last forever. But for right now, the programs, like I mentioned to you, things about, giving contributions to the buyers to help them with closing costs, to help them maybe buy down the rates and things like that. Now is a good time to take advantage of it because the properties are appraising for the high prices out there.
That's good to know. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for your candid answers to these questions. Not only that we had, but I know a lot of people out there had the same questions, similar questions as well. Now, I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't see any crystal ball on your desk, but what advice would you offer investors, would-be investors, and landlords about buying property to resell or buying property to rent right now?
What I say is that there's always an opportunity in the market. Whether the rates are, when I started, they were 9.5%.
Wow.
Before they were higher even, so there's always an opportunity, maybe not in the same places that you've been looking, but there are opportunities out there. What I always say is sometimes looking at smaller cities outside the big cities is a great idea because those cities are growing right now. We have people that want to move more to the central of Florida. So that's a great area to look at opportunities where the cities are smaller and there's still a lot of room for property appreciation. So don't wait, look for the opportunity. The opportunities are out there. Maybe not in your backyard, but there's definitely a lot of opportunities out there. And about the interest rates with buying, a property and renting it, it just has to make sense with the cash flow, and you have to look also at the return on investment. What is the average that the properties have been going up in the past 10 years in Florida? And those kind of studies. So that way, when you buy a property and you see, okay, you know what, it's not only covering my mortgage, the rent is not only covering my mortgage. This is what I'm planning to, at the end of the day, have, as a return on investment. So, like I said, I will be more than happy to sit with anybody. I have a lot of charts and I have a lot of tools that I can show them, how they can look at that for the future.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. I really appreciate you. Can you tell us, how can people reach you?
Absolutely. So my phone number is 954-770-0626. Again, 954-770-0626. We have offices in Miami and in Broward. Miami, we're actually close to you guys, 4500 Biscayne Boulevard. So we're not too far. So whenever you guys want to stop over, your guys are more than welcome.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you so much. And I do understand, well, there is an upcoming meeting in the Palm Beach area. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So on October 27th, we are sponsoring the West Palm Beach meeting. Cornerstone, my company, is sponsoring it. So I am looking forward to seeing everybody there.
And that is Thursday, October 27th.
Thursday, October 27th, correct.
Okay, not the usual
Wednesday. Had to look at the cheat sheet for that because of that. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
So October 27th, we're looking forward to seeing everyone there. My company, Cornerstone, is sponsoring the event.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. I'm looking forward to seeing you there as well. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
Okay.